Alrighty, folks, welcome to the third episode of the Ryze Bootcamp. Today, we are going to be talking about Ryze SMT, or RSMT as you all know it. It is a very crucial part of our entry and the Ryze divergence model, and it plays more into the fact that, again, RDM is a divergence model. We play off of two different divergences. As you know from the last video, we went over SMTs. That's just the divergence between two pairs that are correlated, such as NQ and ES. But we have our own version, Ryze SMT, which is kind of self-explanatory, but a lot of people have been getting very, very, very confused about it for some reason. So I'm going to clarify everything. I'm going to do a nice chart draw out for you guys to show you the simplest possible way to interpret Ryze SMT, because it can get a little bit confusing. Zones will tend to stack up sometimes, but again, an RSMT is an SMT. Now, or I'm sorry, an RSMT is an RSMT. What the fuck did I just say? Anyways, let's draw out as such, and then bang. So essentially, a Ryze SMT looks like that. Again, kind of seems a bit confusing, but again, you can kind of see how our model is playing out. Actually, wait, no, never mind. I thought I drew something wrong. You can kind of see how this plays into our model. You can kind of see how I drew out the SMT here, the Ryze SMT on ES, and you could just assume there's an inversion right there. But again, this looks overly simple. It is overly simple. You don't want to complicate this at all. Okay? Speaking of zones as well, I've seen a lot of people using the other fuck-ass zones on the indicator. Those don't work. They're not based in anything. The only reason they're in the indicator is because when we were first developing the indicator, we had this schizophrenic dude be like, oh, okay, Dallas, let's try this out. Oh, they have a stock exchange. Iceland has a stock exchange. Oh, Rio has a stock exchange. Let's try it. If it held once, he had it included in the indicator. There's a reason we don't use the other zones, okay? There's also a reason why I removed the free indicator, because people were using these zones and making a bad name for Ryze. If they don't see success using all these fuck-ass zones, then that just looks bad on the entire strategy in itself. Just to clarify, you only use New York, London, and Tokyo. That is it. If you use anything else, it is some bullshit. So please, don't use the Dubai zone. Please, for the love of God, do not use the Dubai zone. Just because it'll hold a couple times in certain scenarios and situations doesn't mean it's a zone that's based in something. Our three zones here, New York, London, and Tokyo, work because they are based off of the sunrises of the prominent stock exchanges for the three sessions that the stock market runs on. New York session, London session, and Asian session. That is where all the volume goes to, those three exchanges. Not Auckland, not Dubai, not fucking Rio, not Pyramid of Giza, not Israel. What the fuck are we talking about, boys? Seriously, sure, they have stock exchanges. Sure, they process a lot of money on a daily basis. But compared to New York, London, and Tokyo, it is negligible. Completely negligible. There's a reason why there is not a Dubai session or a Rio session or whatever the fuck, because it doesn't do anything, okay? Now that spiel is up, back into RSMT. So, again, this can be a bit confusing, but essentially, a Ryze SMT is just one zone getting tapped on one correlated asset and not the other. Simple as such. Don't overcomplicate it. Now, I've gotten a lot of questions about certain what ifs and what if that's, and I'm going to get into that right now. Again, as you can see with the 2.6 indicator, I'm not going to scroll down because it's going to, actually, no, I will. We have the numbers on the zones for a reason. We have 5, 6, 2, 6. This is just a forward test here. Didn't actually take that. But again, as you can see here, we have numbers on the zones. And that is for a very specific reason. Because we could both be tapping. Again, you're going to see multiple situations where two zones will be getting tapped at the same time. They will be different zones. So let's just say NQ is tapping the red zone here, while ES taps the blue zone. Just for example's sake. That's still an RSMT. That is still an RSMT. Again, that's not our entry. We're not trying to enter off of the RSMT with the SMT because think of how many 1-minute SMTs are created on a daily basis. They most usually end up getting ran through. It's kind of similar to that. We'll have a lot of RSMTs present themselves throughout the day, throughout the trading session, but just because there's an RSMT doesn't mean it's valid to take a trade off of that. That's why we use an entry mechanism, such as the inverse, FVG, to take our entry. Again, we don't want to get faked out. We want actual confirmation that the market is going to go in the direction we want it to, in accordance with our bias and our model. I really hope that makes sense for you guys. If you have any questions, let me know in the chat, in the Discord. Now, again, as we can see here, two different zones getting tapped at the same time. It is still an RSMT. But what if they're the same color zone? That's why we have the numbers on the zones. Because although they could be the same color, a Ryze zone is a Ryze zone. And if they're created on different days, it's still a Ryze SMT. Because it's not the same Ryze zone getting tapped on one and not the other. Even though they're the same color, they're different days old. Therefore, they're different zones. Therefore, it's an RSMT, and it still works. But again, in terms of the most optimal inverter, the most optimal Ryze SMTs you could find, what I've personally found is one is getting tapped on one but not the other. That usually is like the most clean setup you will get, all things considered. I'll show you guys an example of that right now. It happened yesterday. Again, I didn't trade yesterday. It was Monday. It was no news Monday. But this is just a really good example to show you guys because it's pretty clean. Now, we'll pull up ES here. Here we go. As we can see here, we have our RSMT on ES. We are tapping this blue zone here. There's nothing here on NQ. It's tapping the blue zone on it's tapping the blue zone on ES. It is not tapping anything on NQ. That is a lot more clear and obvious than, say, both assets are touching the zone at the same time, and it's a bit confusing, and you don't know. And then one of them breaks through the zone and invalidates it. Speaking of such, when we break through the zone, when we close above the zone, the RSMT is invalidated. It's like with an SMT, if we run out the low that the SMT was created on, it invalidates it. It's the same thing here. If we close through the zone, it invalidates the zone. And again, you can kind of see in this specific case, it closes through it, then kind of uses it as support, but that's not our entry model. So don't try to enter off some stupid crap like that. Please, oh, just because there's an RSMT, I'm going to take it here. No, it doesn't work like that. Sure, there's an RSMT. There's nothing here on ES getting tapped into while we're tapping NQ. But again, we don't want it to be like that. We don't want to break through in a continuation here. No. The Ryze divergence model is mainly a reversal-based strategy. We're not trying to catch a continuation. Of course, we can catch a continuation a lot of the time. I think like here, for example, honestly. But again, it's not the goal, so to speak. Again, not to say you can't catch continuation trades. It's just, by continuation, what I mean is we break through a zone, then use it as support. That's not valid. But say we're playing up here. Again, just because this got broken through, it getting retested, that's valid. I'm talking about immediately after. It doesn't really make sense there, does it? No, not at all. So again, let me find a better example. Really quick for you guys. Oh, this is a really good example. This is a very good example. Let's throw this in replay mode so it doesn't send me to Agartha. Here we go. Again, in this specific case, do we have a 5-minute SMT here? I don't think we had a 5-minute SMT, so it's not the most valid trade ever, but I had strong conviction here. And I believe, I was passing evals with this trade. So again, I'll take a slightly riskier trade just for the sake of passing evals. But again, on your exit phase, you should not be taking a trade if there's not a higher time frame SMT. With that, I mean 1-minute SMT. 5-minute validation, and ideally a 15-minute validation as well. With that being, okay, it's here on the 1-minute on the indicator. I go to the 5-minute, it's not there anymore. Because we didn't SMT on the 5-minute, we only SMT'd on the 1-minute. Now, again, this is what I mean by a Ryze divergence model continuation, so to speak. This is after market open. We blow through these zones, okay? But we're coming down to retest. We're using it as support. It's not like we're coming up and then just tapping into the zone. Oh, we can long it from there. No, we are trading our model only. Now, we're tapping into the 4-day-old blue zone on ES. We are tapping into the 4-day-old red zone on NQ. That is an RSMT, okay? We have the woman SMT. That's just the bare minimum I will take for evals. But ideally, if you're trading in your XFAs, you want to wait for that 5-minute SMT. This is just the closest example I could find. I'm pretty sure in this specific case, I did pre-fire this, but Trade Syncer started bugging. So my fill wouldn't be up here. That's a really weird looking fill. Let's play this through. As we can see, we have a clean 1-minute inversion to take right there. Let me throw our stops. Ideally SMT low, but again, that's a 50-point stop. It doesn't really work out that well. I don't like risking that much. It kills my RR. I'd rather throw my stop at the low. Simple as that. Now, again, this isn't even the best SMT ever. This is just for example's sake. ES took the low, NQ didn't. But again, it's not validated on the 5-minute. SMT is an SMT. Again, though, entry off the inversion. Beep, 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 beep. Simple as such. That is a continuation example with the Ryze divergence model. But that's how it should look like, so to speak. Except, again, SMT is, NQ taking the low and not ES, ideally speaking, for it to be A+, and 5-minute and 15-minute validation. You don't need the 15-minute, it just gives you extra confluence. But, again, at least a 1-minute and a 5-minute SMT just to confirm everything. Now, with that being said, you don't want to be taking everything off of RSMTs. Again, I already said that, but it's very easy to force things. Here we go here. When we have a high time frame draw on liquidity that we want to deliver to, in this case, it's right up here. I believe these are previous day highs. Yeah, previous day highs in this specific example. Sure, we are RSMTing. We have a really good 15-minute SMT and a 5-minute SMT, as you can see there. But this is the biggest reason I see people lose trades with the Ryze divergence model. They will miss a trade like this for like a continuation to play towards our draw on liquidity. Instead, they will blindly follow the model without any regard whatsoever for our overall bias and our overall draw on liquidity. And by that I mean, sure, we are SMT'd. We're going, let me just play another 5-minute candle through here. Sure, we're RSMTing. We're tapping the blue zone on NQ. We're tapping the 7-day-old red zone on ES. That is an RSMT. We also do have an SMT here. I don't know if we have a 1-minute inversion, but let's check that really quick. Because, again, we haven't delivered to our draw. We don't want to short when we're playing to a long, I guess you could say. You guys know what I mean. A long DOL. Now, did we get a 1-minute inversion? We didn't. We didn't even get a 1-minute inversion. A lot of the times, we won't. That's why, again, I'm pretty sure we inverted on the 30-second here. Yep, as you can see. That's why I avoid 30-second inversions, okay? 1 minute gives you the most confirmation, so to speak. But again, if you're just shorting off the RSMT, SMT just because it's there, you're going to get wrecked. Because the SMT, again, we have a lot of points to run before that SMT gets ran out. We have 1, 2, 3 zones. That's an opportunity to lose 3 trades. Even more potentially. We don't want to be doing that. We don't want to be doing that at all, okay? So, please keep high time frame draw in mind when you are trading the Ryze divergence model. Again, the next video is going to be going over how to determine your draw on liquidity so you can trade correctly. But for all intents and purposes, avoid going counter trend. Again, as well, we're bullishly SMT'd here with ES. ES already took this high. NQ is just lagging behind, so to speak. So, again, you don't want to just blindly signal buy the shorts. That's why I say avoid SMTs like this, especially when it's this fat of an SMT, because ES has already taken the high. It's probably still going to run. ES has not. It's probably still going to, NQ hasn't. It's probably still going to run because we haven't delivered to that draw on liquidity yet. And again, ES is usually the narrative maker. Therefore, I don't really want to try to fuck with the trend, so to speak. So, with that being said, if you guys have any questions, hit me in the Discord, okay? Please hit me in the Discord. Ask questions during educational sessions. Ask as many questions as possible because I am here to help you and make sure that you don't confuse this with anything else or implement any other fuck-ass confluences that are going to cloud your judgment. If you are trading Ryze divergence model, you are only trading Ryze divergence model. I don't want you trading fuck-ass power rejection blocks, fuck-ass EMAs, fuck-ass whatever. 5-minute inversion. No. No, no, no. You need to clear the noise out entirely. You'll see someone take a trade opposite to what we will take. We will still win. They will still win. We both won. It doesn't matter the way you look at the markets. It's just the way you get the entry. And again, we'll have opposing biases with other people sometimes, and that's okay. It doesn't mean that one trade is better than the other. It just means we made money, they made money. That is it. Our model works, their model probably works, but as long as we stick to that model and we don't incorporate any other fuck shit that is going to cloud our judgment, we will be fine. You will get a payout. It is as simple as that. You always want to trade for the next day. You don't want to hop on social media, see someone make 50 racks in a single trade, and immediately start, I'm going to implement this confluence that they used. So many of you guys in the Discord have done that, and it has slowed your progress down so much. And it's really sad to see because, again, incorporating other things can really be hurtful at times, especially when you're trading a strategy like Ryze Divergence model, where it's so simple that you almost want to overcomplicate it. Do not overcomplicate it. That is going to screw you over so much I can't even describe. So, again, if you have any questions, let me know in the Discord, and we're going to run it up. Everyone is going to run it up. As long as you stick through and watch this entire bootcamp, and you follow the rules, you journal, emphasis on the journal, so you learn from your mistakes, and you're active in the Discord. That is what's honestly key, because with Storm, as we've seen, our newest alumni, he's active every single day. This dude is in Europe joining the 6 p.m. sessions. That is midnight for him. He wants it that bad. You're working, doing whatever the fuck. I still have people at their jobs on the educational sessions taking notes. And when it comes down to it, you can use whatever excuse you want to not make this work. But if you're going to make an excuse, it's never going to work. And that's the last thing I want for you guys at the end of the day. I want you guys to see success with this like I have. But all it takes is trust and consistency with your emotional regulation. And that is it. As long as you optimize your way of life to where you're not going to be emotional, you're not going to be tilted, and you're not going to be dysregulated, you will be able to get payouts. The reason why you guys freak out and fuck up so much and blow accounts is because you don't have discipline and because you're emotionally dysregulated. It's as simple as that. That's it. That's literally it. I've never blown an account from taking 10 straight trades with a $200 loss on each. It doesn't work like that. The model will not let that happen. But what will happen is it'll take a losing trade. You'll get emotional. Oh no, I need to make this money back. Skill issue, bro. Get a fucking hold on yourself. Go touch grass. I'm serious. It will change your life. So with that being said, thank you guys for baking with Bonka. Ryze changes lives, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.